Logan Paul walks around at about 220 pounds, absolutely shredded, with visible abs, while Jake Paul, at 170, looks kinda soft and carries a bit of belly fat. They have the same parents, same DNA, but two completely different bodies. You see, genetics gave them the same framework and blueprint, but their training, their diet, and their lifestyle built completely different houses. Genetics do matter. They impact where you store your fat, your metabolism speed, how fast you can build muscle, and even the shape of the muscle. But how much do genetics actually control versus what you control? I'll show you exactly where genetics matter, where it doesn't matter, and how to work with it, whatever genetics you've got. So let's get into it. Let's talk about how genetics impact fat loss, especially belly fat. So, six-pack ab generally shows up for men for anywhere between 10 to 20% body fat. For women, it's 18 to 28%, from a 3% audience there. That is a huge range though. Where you end up on that spectrum is mostly down to your genetics.
And I've got a bit of a weird body, but it's not actually even weird. I'm about 11% body fat. The last time I did a DEXA, I actually had more body fat than this. I was about 11.2%.
James says he's around 11% body fat according to the DEXA scan, but his six-pack still doesn't show because of his genetics. Because when you lose weight, you have no control where your body decides to lose fat. For James, it seems like his legs, arms lose fat first, and the belly is one of the last places to go. He probably needs to be at least 10% body fat for his abs to show. Meanwhile, for someone else, abs pops at 20% body fat. But losing body fat will make you feel great regardless of where you lose it first. Whether it's your arms, your belly, or your ass cheeks, the benefits are the same. The more fat you lose, the higher testosterone, more energy, better libido, less inflammation, it reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease. You'll get healthier and healthier the more fat you lose until you hit your optimal zone. For most men, that optimal zone is under 20% body fat. For women, it's under 28%. That is what you should focus on when it comes to losing fat, not chasing a six-pack, because your genetics might not allow you to get one, even if you hit 10% body fat. If you don't know what your body fat percentage is right now, there's a free body fat calculator in the description. Just plug in a few measurements and it will estimate your body fat. Once you know where you're at, it's much easier to set realistic goal and have realistic timeline. You should aim to lose 1 to 2% of body fat each month though.
Shortly after high school, I was probably eating 8,000 to 10,000 calories a day, because I was losing so much weight.
We all have that friend who eats and eats, but never really gains weight. Meanwhile, some of us, we gain weight just by sniffing a chocolate. So what's the difference between us? Is it genetics or is it something else? The biggest difference to that isn't genetics, it is lifestyle. If you look at Jeff Nippard and his brother, Jeff is shredded, his brother was overweight. My entire family is either overweight or obese. I'm not. Trust me, it's not genetics. And you can clearly see it when you compare us to our grandparents, because since the 1970s, we've gotten fatter and fatter. Back then, obesity was rare. Now, 70% of Americans are either overweight or obese, but our genetics haven't changed much since the 1970s. What have changed though is our diet and lifestyle. We have become more sedentary because less people cook at home because food can easily be delivered, and more people eat fast food because food can easily be delivered. And that is what has had the biggest impact on our metabolism. So if you just walk more, eat more clean, do your own groceries, cook more, your metabolism automatically skyrocket. And it actually all ties into testosterone too.
Men's testosterone dropping 1% per year since the 1980s, and they're at all-time record lows and stuff like that. Is this something that we should be worried about, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Why is it happening?
Testosterone improves your metabolism. It helps you build muscle, keeps your energy up, keeps you motivated. This is what makes us men feel young. And that is why guys like Joe Rogan and Andrew Humans are on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. But since the 1970s, we've gotten fatter, and men's testosterone have dropped almost 1% every single year since. Our grandparents had more testosterone than our fathers. Our fathers have more testosterone than us on average. And losing weight has the biggest impact on your testosterone, because it's very common to see that people double their testosterone once they drop from overweight to under 20% body fat, which is fit. Because being under 20% body fat, that is where your testosterone will be higher. And genetics do impact testosterone also. For example, black people on average have higher testosterone. Asian people on average have lower testosterone. But lifestyles matters way more. So the average testosterone range is 300 to 800. It's rarely to find somebody over 900 nanogram each deciliter. I'm Asian and I used to have really low testosterone, around 300 nanogram each deciliter. But my last test, it came back at 1004 nanogram each deciliter naturally, which means I'm above the reference range. I'm in the 99 percentile. If you're from Essex, that means top 1%. And honestly, because of that, I feel younger now than I felt when I was 22 years old at 300 nanogram. And how I increased my testosterone was very simple. I ate cleaner, I walked more, I sleep more, I drink less, I exercise regularly. And that is it. That is how you lose fat, improve your metabolism, increase your testosterone, regardless of your genetics, because all those things are tied together. But fair warning, when you do all those things, your libido might go through the roof. Your AI girlfriend might crash another AWS center. Have you ever noticed how all Mr. Olympias are short except for maybe Arnold? There's a reason for that, because genetics have a massive role in building muscle and how muscular you look. And it starts with your skeleton and how it's developed. That is why all modern Mr. Olympia is around 5'7" or shorter, because shorter you are, and the shorter your limbs are, the easier it is to build muscle mass. So for my female audience, longer isn't always better. Sometimes being shorter means you're more girthy. But your height isn't the only thing that determines how easy it is to build muscle. Your limb length does too. Like, look at Giannis Antetokounmpo, the basketball player. He's ripped on his upper body, but his lower body is a lot smaller compared to his upper body. And it's not because of lack of leg training. Basketball players train lower body the most. It's because of his limbs. Giannis has very short upper body, so it's much easier for him to build muscle there. But his legs, his limbs are so long that it's really difficult to build muscle mass on them. And you can see it in the gym all the time. People with shorter arms has a much easier time to build bigger biceps and triceps than people with longer arms. Another thing genetics control is your muscle insertions, like how your muscle are actually shaped. That is 100% genetics. You can't change that. And look at The Rock. So genetics gave him huge defined arms, but his abs, the insertions there aren't the best, because no matters how lean he gets, you can't really see visible abs. And that is not because he's not lean enough. He could be at 10% body fat and his body still might not show abs because of his muscle insertions. And you can't change that, but here's what you should know. Muscle mass and being lean trumps muscle shape every single time, because nobody thinks The Rock is out of shape just because his abs doesn't show. You can clearly see that he is in great shape. So even if you can't change your muscle shape, it really doesn't matter. What matters more is your body fat and your muscle mass, and you have full control over that. Or do you? Your genetics also impact how much muscle you can potentially put on. And the range is between 30 to 70 pounds of lean muscle you can add on. But here's the thing. Unless you're planning to step on stage in a pair of strings covered in fake tan so you can impress a bunch of other dudes and not call it gay and call it bodybuilding, then you don't need to worry about your natural ceiling. Because let's say you end up on the lower end of that scale, you can just gain 30 pounds of lean muscle. The average person can gain about 50. But even with just extra 30 pounds of lean muscle, you'll look incredible. And the honest truth is less than 5% will ever come close to their natural ceiling. So you don't need to worry about that. A lot of people are worried about their natural genetical ceiling when they can't even bench press their body weight. And also, you don't need to hit your genetic ceilings to look great. Gaining just 20 pounds of lean muscle, which everybody can gain, and getting under 20% body fat will make you look better than 95% of people out there. If you're carrying the same amount of extra fat right now as you did last year and haven't gotten any stronger or built any more muscle, It is not your genetics. It is your diet. It is your lifestyle. It is your lack of consistency inside and outside the gym. Your genetic isn't stopping you from losing 30 pounds of fat or gaining 20 pounds of muscle, because 95% of people quit long before genetics ever becomes a problem. In just 3 months, that's all it takes for you to gain 10 pounds of muscle and lose 20 pounds of fat. If you're ready to get there, click the second link in the description, because I can personally help you get there, help you with your diet and training. And in 3 months, your life can change drastically, but only if you decide to start. But if you wanted to do it yourself, no worries. I hope this video helped. You can use the free body fat calculator in the first link so you can know where you're at right now. Knowing your starting point is always the first step. And if you want more actionable tips on what to do based on your body fat percentage, whether you should focus on building muscle first or losing fat first, you should check out this video. In that video, I'll break down every body fat range and tell you exactly what to prioritize based on your body fat right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay healthy, keep thriving, and I hope I can see you over there. Peace.